came from.
Gentlemen, do you realize what we've found?
It came from outer space to fill the world with terror.
What earthly power can stop this terror?
That's the signpost up ahead. Your next stop.
Broadcasting from outer space.
And shout out to all our listeners out there worldwide. And all of our intergalactic listeners. Maybe some of them are even underwater. Just like those mermaids that we're going to be talking about tonight, guys. It's the podcast from outer space. Once again, it's your boy, Rob Scott. We have Adam Narlock in the house tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, guys. Thanks for listening.
And as always, it's Ryan Scott.
Hello, everybody out there.
And last but not least, it's our very own brother from another mother. It's his birthday today, guys. It's Jed Groom.
Hey, everybody out there. Let's have a good time.
Yes. We are back again. We are in a new studio. How are we feeling, everybody?
It's comfy. Nice. Upgrade.
A little more room in here.
Yeah, it feels weird to be in a room where I can actually move around.
Okay, yes. We are. This is what it's like to move up in the world. And new studio vibes. So it's on to another, I guess, technically cryptid legend, would you guys say? This one is steeped in history, folklore, and with this one, we figure, hell, might as well try something new for the new studio. So we are covering the topic of mermaids tonight. That's right, everybody. Mermaids.
Merman.
Now, Teabag, do we want to get into how we came about this topic?
You want to do that right now?
That's what I just asked.
People need to know.
People are asking, buddy.
Yeah, go for it then. If the people give the people what they want.
Because essentially, we're fucking sitting around. Me and Teabag are shooting the shit. We're discussing, what can we talk about? What's something new? And essentially our goal here by the end of this episode is to answer the age-old question. Mm-hmm. Now, do we want to do it up top or we save that till the very end?
I say we save it to the end. This is important stuff.
Just keep that in mind. The age-old question. That's what we're going to get to at the end of this episode. And I mean, right off the bat, what do you guys think of when you hear mermaids? What do you know about mermaids? When did you hear about them? Round robin. What do we got?
I think my first exposure was probably The Little Mermaid. And who could blame, redhead, left-handed?
Well, yes, we know you. It's no secret. You have a redhead fetish.
Yep.
Is Ariel, in fact, left-handed?
Well, we're going to say she is for the sake of argument.
Okay. And I think that's the case with a lot of people our age.
Yeah.
Little Mermaid, that was a big part of This World, classic.
I think Hook was in there, a whole mermaids. They all got like different colored hair.
Yeah,
Robin
Definitely.
Williams.
Okay. Rufio, nice.
Yeah, yep. That's what I got, man. Mermaids. And I guess 13th year, right? Is that what everybody else is
Does that
thinking?
count? Yeah.
That's a merman.
We'll take it.
Merboy.
It counts. Count it.
Okay.
Wasn't there like a real life Disney one too where they had like the actual actors and stuff? It wasn't like Little Mermaid, but there was a
That
little
was 13th year.
13th? Oh my God.
No, it's
Classic.
good.
It was a dude who was like, it was like Spider-Man, but with a mermaid.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And they had that brunette chick from the Jersey.
Well, you guys already took all my answers, so I don't know what to say now.
What other mermaid stuff? Like, have you been on a ship?
Well, always seeing mermaids on, what are you just talking real life? If you're,
Like at the front of the ship.
They actually exist. Maybe you've been on a ship
are real.
before.
That's it. That's a wrap of the episode.
if you're in the Navy, you've seen some fucking mermaids.
Why do you think it's all guys that join?
Honestly, though,
We grew up in a beach town.
yeah, Norfolk, mermaids. That's the fucking like symbol of the city. Norfolk, Virginia.
Yeah,
they
they
got
have-
fucking mermaids everywhere, right?
Yep.
Little statues.
Big Navy town.
Okay. Now, I will say, after I started getting into some of this research, I realized how fucked up mermaids actually are. This is not, I will say again, not The Little Mermaid, These things are fucking brutal. We'll get into it, but disclaimer right up front, this one gets pretty fucking metal because mermaids are just that. They're fucking metal. There ain't no two ways around it.
Are they fucking metal or are they fucking metal?
They are fucking as metal as you can get, dude.
Okay.
Think of Slayer. and mermaids.
Dun, dun, dun.
The mermaids, they've been fucking glamorized in pop culture.
Sure.
They've been morphed into what we think of today, Little Mermaid. And in all of reality, these are monsters. I mean, just sit back and think about this. What if you literally saw a mermaid? What would you do?
Snap a pic, dude.
Yeah, right. You would lose your fucking mind, dude. You saw
gotta
a
get the
girl
evidence,
with the
dude.
tail of a fish, you would fucking freak out, right?
I would be the first one to try and fuck it. So there he goes.
Now, honestly,
homeboy fucked a mermaid once.
Ladies.
would that be bestiality technically?
It's half human.
Depends how you're fucking.
Well, it's a fish from the waist down, so
What if you're just going for the face?
you get a blowjob from a mermaid, not
Hey,
bestiality.
that's awesome.
You have sex with it, bestiality.
I think
that's where we're
That's, what
going.
that's how I'm going to count it. Yeah.
Okay.
Just go top half. You're good.
All right. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, let's define.
Well, now hold on.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Okay.
Okay, is a mermaid always bottom fish, top?
Could be half, left and right.
I don't think I've ever seen
what I'm
one
wondering.
that's reversed. Although we will get into some odder descriptions, if you will.
Okay.
Now, so where were you going with that? What's the?
Well, what if she had like a top half fish and bottom half woman?
Then I guess it would be reversed. If you're getting a blowjob, it's bestiality. If you're,
If you're fucking a fish,
yeah. Well, no, he's saying if the top half is a fish.
Yeah, if you're getting a blowjob from a fish, she's just laying there taking it like a plastic fuck doll. Oh.
would you actually want to fuck a top half fish?
It's the bottom half you'd be fucking.
You just
My
put it in a
mom's
wall.
listening to this,
It's
so
like a
great,
glory
great,
hole, a glory hole type situation.
Jesus Christ.
So let's define mermaid. Okay.
Also, if you took it out of water, at some point that would probably end up being necrophilia.
Oh,
If the top half's fish.
Well, again, semantics.
semantics.
So the word mermaid is a compound of the Old English mer, meaning sea, and maid, translating to a girl or young woman.
It's merman.
Yeah, we get the Zoolander jokes right up front. Get them out of the way. Now, the general definition of mermaid is an aquatic creature with the head and upper body of a female.
Okay.
And the lower body resembling the tail of a fish. Mermaids appear in folklore of many cultures worldwide, including Europe, Asia, and Africa. First stories appear in ancient Assyria, in which the goddess Atartagus transformed herself into a mermaid out of shame for accidentally killing her human lover. Now, we'll see later, there's plenty of that in reference to mermaids. Apparently, this lady was like way too good in bed, and this guy like died when she was fucking him. And she was like so pissed off that she jumps into the sea, but the gods thought she was so hot that they couldn't fucking waste her by turning her into a fish, so they just did the bottom half.
Sounds reasonable.
But that's also just lazy on the gods' part. Yeah. Like, let's just do the bottom half today.
It was probably a Friday.
Yeah. Now, not in all cases, but in some cultures, mermaids are harbingers of doom associated with events such as floods, storms, shipwrecks, and drownings. In other traditions, or sometimes in the same tradition, they can be the opposite. Maybe I'm thinking like a leprechaun. They're good luck. They're bestowing blessings or falling in love with these humans.
Okay.
Now, in more recent times, mermaids have become the subject of art and literature. Most notably would be Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tale, The Little Mermaid. This was in 1837, and this was, in fact, what the Disney film was based on in 1989. Now, aside from all of the fictional accounts, there have been numerous accounts of mermaids ranging from those reported by Christopher Columbus during his exploration of the Caribbean and continuing into present day. I mean, are you guys thinking mermaids are something that could possibly exist?
Oh, totally. There's got to be something out in the water.
Gotta be.
There's so much explored area in the water.
Okay.
But where's the bodies?
You're right. It's just like Sasquatch, you know? Where's the fucking evidence? Where's the bones? Where's the bodies?
They're in the ocean.
Sleeping with
Obviously.
the fishes.
Wow.
Well, we found bones of other things in the ocean, right?
What's that?
Like dinosaur, like water dinosaurs.
Loch Ness? No one's found that.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing, and we discussed that could possibly be Aleister Crowley opening a portal, and that's a supernatural thing, so that's a whole other thing.
Check
Well,
out that
maybe
episode.
he
if
opened
you
some
haven't.
portal and some half
Some mermaid, maybe, dude.
She got caught in the
He
side.
was into some weird shit.
We'll get into those theories later. Now, let's get into the history of the tale. Now, no pun intended there. Basically, these things, what I gathered, are sort of saltwater femme fatales.
Love
am I
it.
right? Now,
Love it.
you guys know what a femme fatale is?
Like
you
a
know,
little Scarlett Johansson.
yeah, like Black Widow. She
Yeah.
acts like she's this helpless female. Then she's fucking kicking your ass and fucking chopping your dick off.
She's Italian. Must be Italian.
So Assyria, let's start there. As we said earlier, the first known mermaid stories seem to come from Assyria.
Cradle of fucking civilization.
Exactly. There we go. From the horse's mouth, the teacher horse's mouth himself. These fucking tales, these legends, these stories, whatever you want to call them, date back to 1000 BC. As we said, this Atargatis, she loved a mortal, a shepherd at that, unintentionally killed him. The gods fucking, didn't want to conceal her divine beauty. Thereafter, she took the form of a mermaid, human from the waist up. Now, in British folklore, mermaids appear as unlucky omens, similar to the Mothman,
Another great episode.
They foretell of disaster and in some cases even provoke it.
See, that's what I've always heard is like, you see her, or maybe I'm thinking siren. Same thing, different thing?
Well, yeah, as we'll see right now in ancient Greece, there's a couple spirits from which like mermaids stem. There's 3 supernatural spirits whose images and attitudes contribute to the development of the mermaid. There's Skyla, which translates to bitch. This is a
Beautiful words. Beautiful.
This is a 6-headed monster with triple rows of teeth in each canine mouth who could devour 6 sailors at a time when their ship sailed close enough to her cave. There's also the sirens with women's heads and bird bodies,
Okay.
later seen with fish tails. They sang irresistibly and would kind of lure people around and fucking kill them,
Sounds a lot like Teeth. Maybe you guys are familiar.
Yes, we are. All too much, Adam.
Not too much.
Too scary.
And then there's also the 50 Nereids. Nereids. These were ancient sea fairies who lived in an underwater kingdom but came up to the surface to play.
Maybe don't say it like
Hey, come out and play.
So, this is ancient Greece's rendition of the tale. Now, there's also the Rusalkas. This is a Slavic counterpart of Greek sirens and naiads. So, in this culture, the Slavic, the Ruskies.
That's racist.
In this, mermaids are said to be restless spirits of the unclean dead. They are usually the ghosts of young women who died of violent or untimely death, perhaps by murder or suicide, before their wedding, and especially by drowning. Rusalkas are said to inhabit lakes and rivers. They appear as beautiful young women with long, pale, green hair and pale skin. They can be seen after dark dancing together under the moon and calling out to young men by name, luring them to the water and drowning them.
What a way to go.
Now, this is almost similar like the Kelpie stuff we talked about, right? Like you see a hot maiden, maidens on the rocks, you're going over to fucking. And then next thing you know, you're getting fucking drowned.
Major turn of events. Imagine that first date.
Now, do they just immediately start drowning you?
I
How
think
does that
so.
work?
It's just like a thing like, hey, like imagine this, dude. You see a sleek, you see some fucking nips
Nice.
perking up in the
Poking
moonlight,
out.
poking out in the
Winking
moonlight
at you.
on a rock, and you hear,
Stop.
and you're like, okay, I'm going over here. Next thing you know, you're fucking getting drowned, dude.
And that's exactly why I wouldn't be going over there.
We all know that's a bullshit.
We all know you would go right over.
I doubt that.
You would saunter on over, dick already out.
Oh, that's not me that's doing that. That's this guy over here.
Yeah, Adam.
Saunter on over, dick in hand, to get drowned by the fucking merfolk.
In Rob's case, he's a lifeguard. He's not going to drown right off the bat. He's going to put up a little fight. You know, the mermaid might be small. He could take it down.
But we'll find out. We'll find out what'll
Can we
happen.
get a
to
match
him.
going?
We'll find out
Get
what'll
him in a
happen. to
headlock.
him.
Little
We're
tail
gonna
of the
have
tape.
UFC mermaid. Rob versus mermaid.
So real quickly, let's get to one more culture where the mermaid's prominent is Africa.
Can I interject here? It just sounds like in these tales, these are just women guys want to get rid of. Maybe they fucked up.
Well, I don't know.
Killed them, throw them in the water. Oh, it's just a mermaid.
Some boondock
Just a
saints.
mermaid.
Well, they're not dead. They're killing the men.
Unclean dead. That's what this one just
These
said.
Russian ones.
Oh, the Russians. Well,
Also, if you go
Especially
back
in
to
Russia.
the God story, they couldn't stop fucking this chick, wanted to get rid of her.
well, in Russia, especially, they're saying, "Hey, mermaid, I kill her, mermaid. I kill mermaid on beach.
Well, the girl in the water, she just mermaid.
Oh, the dead girl, mermaid.
We're losing Russian followers.
I saw you with her last night. that was a mermaid.
That totally mermaid. She crazy. She tried to drown me, bro. So another prominent culture where the mermaid pops up, Africa, Mama Africa. We have the Mami Water, translates to Mother of Water. These are water spirits that are revered in West Central and Southern Africa and in the Caribbean. And parts of North and South America, they are usually female, but are sometimes male. They are regarded as diabolical beings and are often
Typical women.
often femme fatale, also luring men to their deaths.
Yep.
Even the male ones.
So, stay away from these fucking things. Now, in the one of the books that we're going to cite, Field Guide to Demons, Vampires, and Fallen Angels, they discuss. Now, this is actually where it gets fucking brutal and crazy. And check this out. So, mermaids' behavior. Mermaids are said to habitually eat their victims after drowning them. From Portugal comes a 17th century sighting that claims they eat only the nose, eyes, tips of fingers, and penises of their prey,
Well, sure, they got to watch their girlish figure.
and they toss the rest into the sand. Now, let's just imagine that for a rendition of The Little Mermaid.
It's metal as fuck.
Just having a nice nose cocked dinner.
A nose cock finger
Raining
dinner.
blood
She
playing in
just
the
fucking
background.
what's the prince's name in The Little Mermaid?
Eric.
He's fucking sauntering on over there like Rob, dick in hand. Next thing you know, Ariel's
Dun, dun,
fucking
dun,
gnawing
dun.
his dick off.
Why is it only me? You guys are saying you would. I think you guys are the ones that want to fuck a mermaid.
Hey, on our definition, that's bestiality. I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know where your
I
head's
already
at.
told you where my head was at.
A little fishy.
But I mean, that's brutal. These mermaids are just gnawing dicks off and tossing the bodies on the sand.
It's a little wasteful. Like you can't eat all of me. Like, am I not good enough?
They're no Native Americans.
Yeah, a little wasteful.
So, let's get to, as we said, the Zoolander fucking joke, the mermen. Obviously, the male counterpart to the mermaids is mermen. Now, sightings of mermen are much less common than those of mermaids. Mermen have been described as wilder and uglier than mermaids.
Is that like old Greg?
I guess so,
Ooh.
There would be just kind of some hideous thing. And that's why mermaids are so obsessed with human dudes, because all the mermen are fucking ugly.
Gross.
Yeah. Now,
They're just looking for a nice cock meat sandwich.
some accounts claim that mermen have little interest in humans. Other accounts claim that mermen are constantly lusting after human females and carrying them off whenever possible. They also report to keep the souls of drowned sailors and humans under pots or in cages in their underwater caves or palaces.
Right next to the Baileys.
So that's all Ariel's little trinkets and stuff that she's got. Those are all human
Look
fucking
at all
souls.
those dudes. Yeah, that's a lot of dudes, man.
Yeah. So, do we want to get into some real life encounters? This is fucking bare bones
Oh, yes.
evidence. This is
Please.
fucking
Facts.
real. Yeah, this is nothing but facts. This is real life encounters throughout history.
Christopher Columbus is a real life fact. That's bullshit.
What do you mean? That was a man that existed.
He's messing with you.
What's your policy on Columbus Day?
What's going on with Columbus?
Yeah, well, we'll get to that when we get to the Columbus site. Let me preface this. Now, mermaids have also been described as able to swim up rivers and into freshwater lakes. In one story, the Laird of Lornight went to aid a woman he thought was drowning in a lake near his home. A servant pulled him back, warning that it was a mermaid, and the mermaid screamed at them that she would have killed him if it were not for his servant. So again, this is like the Kelpie tale. Possibly these developed to keep small children away from the coastlines and the water for fear of them, slipping in and drowning, right?
Yep.
Maybe.
Okay, well, Columbus, Rob, your favorite fucking historical figure. Christopher
guy.
Columbus in 1493, sailing off the coast of Hispaniola, Christopher Columbus reported seeing 3 female forms which rose high out of the sea, but were not as beautiful as the tales claim.
That's
So they were-
Columbus. He pretends to be stupid.
So they're actually pretty ugly.
Well, he also thought he was in India. So.
Well, that is true, but so you're saying, take that with a big old grain of salt.
Yeah.
It's Christopher Columbus. What does this guy know? He didn't even know where the fuck he was.
And there's also another great captain that saw one. A little guy I like to call Captain John Smith. You guys might know of him.
Yep, this
Found
was
Jamestown.
Jamestown,
1614.
Pocahontas.
Well, he was just thirsty, man. But what's
He was
cool
looking
about
for-
this is going to bring it back to what we were talking about earlier about which way the fish would be. So he describes it as top half human with green hair, but there's a painting that is called the Collective Invention. That was a surrealism, and the picture actually is the top half fish and then the bottom half legs.
Okay. So he's doing a little 180 reverse.
Well, I think the artist that did that on purpose, even though,
So he fucked up.
well, they probably didn't read their history book. It says right here how he describes it, but it's a surrealism artist.
So they were flipping.
they were
it.
trying
They were
this.
saying, "How can I be weird? Let me flip what he
make
said."
some money off this.
Yeah.
I got some rent to pay.
Okay.
Had to draw it out to see if it'd be okay to fuck.
Looks
All
kind
right.
of weird. Check it out. It's a cool painting.
So in June 1737, in Spain, this story comes from Virgo, Spain. Now, this was the effect that some fishermen on the coast had caught a mermaid. They described it as 5.5 feet from head to foot. The head was like that of a goat with a long beard and mustache, black skin, somewhat hairy, very long neck, short arms, hands longer than they ought to be in proportion, long fingers with nails like claws, webbed toes, and a fin at the lower part of the back. So at that point, that's just like a fucking, almost like a Jersey Devil mermaid, I'm thinking.
Let's see it.
Now also, another famous captain we might know of, old Blackbeard.
Blackbeard.
In the logbook of Blackbeard, this guy was an English pirate. He records that he instructed his crew on several voyages to steer away from charted waters, which he called enchanted, for fear of merfolk, or mermaids, which Blackbeard himself and members of his crew reported seeing. Now, there are also several pirate maps in history that mark that like they have written on them, "Here be mermaids.
Yar.
Stay away." Yeah. Stay away from the fucking mermaid places, almost, assuring that, hey, this is a dangerous waters. Don't go the fuck in here. Now, more recently, more recent times, we got the Israeli mermaid. In August 2009, after dozens of people reported seeing a mermaid leaping out of Haifa Bay, doing aerial tricks at sunset. One of the first people to see the mermaid was Shlomo Cohen.
You have to carry it out that long.
And he says,
I was with friends when suddenly we saw a woman lying in the sand in a weird way. At first I thought she was just another sunbather, but when we approached, she jumped into the water and disappeared. We were all in shock because we saw she had a tail.
so boom, even the fucking coastal town of Kiryat Yam offered a $1 million reward for conclusive video evidence of the fucking mermaids.
Where's TMZ?
Exactly. Now I saw on YouTube, like there are some like videos, but these are definitely like fakes. They were just trying to scam the 1 million.
Sure.
I
mean, who wouldn't? Yeah,
Boom.
at that point. Even more recently than that, in Africa, in February of 2012, there was work happening on 2 reservoirs in Zimbabwe that ceased when workers refused to continue, claiming that mermaids had hounded them away from the sites. Water Resources Minister Nkomo was reported as saying,
All the officers I have sent have vowed not to go back there. We even hired whites thinking that our boys did not want to go to work, but they also returned saying they would not return to work there again.
So, all these workers said, hey, there's fucking mermaids in there scaring us off. We don't want... But that could also just be guys saying, hey, I'm not fucking working on a reservoir in Zimbabwe. There's mermaids.
I don't want to go to work today, man. Mermaids.
Yeah, what can we make up today? Mermaids. Now, in August of 1991 in South Africa, about 30% of the remains of an unknown human-like creature were found in the belly of a dead great white shark. The body was examined, and it was determined to have the hands and a humanoid skull. A stingray barb was found jammed into the shark's jaw.
Was this Steve Irwin?
Hey.
Revenge.
I don't think it was, but this was claimed to be the mermaid's weapon, possibly.
A little beach shank.
Yeah,
Gotta stay strapped. You think they smoke seaweed? Just wondering.
Well, most definitely, I'm assuming mermen do.
But how do they light it?
Well, they probably got some cool fucking shit we don't even know about.
Yeah, you're right.
So, that's some of the encounters. Now, what are we thinking of these encounters? All bullshit, total bullshit, 50% bullshit.
I mean, you
totally
see it a
true.
lot with the captains we just listed because they're on the water so much.
Uh-huh.
And if you think about it, we don't really use, well, I mean, our boats are bigger too, so you're not really, when you're on the water, you're not on the water. You're not like on looking around and seeing a lot, you're kind of enclosed. So you hear it more back then because that was the main transportation to get around the countries.
Okay. So we're thinking possible.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's mermaids out there.
Okay. Now, what about some of these more recent sightings, Still happening to this day, all throughout history. Any credibility there?
I'm going with a hard no.
Wow.
Okay.
Skeptic.
Who would have thought?
Now, what are we saying no for? Just, can't believe it, won't believe it?
Sounds like a lot of hocus pocus to me.
Okay. So possible theories, what could it possibly be? Now there is this stuff called, or this disease, or a defect, birth defect, I guess it would be. This is known as Sarnamelia. This is also called mermaid syndrome. This is a rare congenital disorder in which a child is born with his or her legs fused together. This condition is about as rare as conjoined twins, affecting 1 out of every 100,000 births, and it's usually fatal within 1 to 2 days of birth because of kidney and bladder complications. There are 4 survivors that are known as of July 2003. So highly unlikely that, there's just a colony of these fucking
Don't say that.
Sierra Amelia folk living out in the water, banished to the water.
Yeah.
Now, there's also Sirenia. This is basically, fully aquatic herbivore mammals that inhabit rivers, estuaries, coastal marine waters, swamps, and marine wetlands, including manatees and dugongs, which I believe dugongs are now extinct, right? Anywhom, these possess major aquatic adaptations, arms used for steering and paddle used for propulsion, and remnants of hind legs in the form of 2 small bones deep in their muscles. They look like fat and clumsy, but are actually highly muscular and hydrodynamic. Now, it is said that mariners before the mid-19th century referred to them as mermaids because, they are seeing them from far off, manatees, these dugongs, and they're like, hey, that looks like a fucking chick.
So why you don't shoot till you see the whites of their eyes?
Exactly. Now, many folklorists and mythographers deem that the origin of the mythic mermaid is the dugong. One guy says like, "Hey, I saw some fucking crazy shit out there." It goes like
telephone
yeah,
game.
yeah. It goes like telephone, and it gets to the point of mermaids, Ariel, under the sea. Now, again, like we were saying, the ocean is fucking ginormous.
Sure.
Massive.
Isn't it some shit like fucking 90% of the ocean hasn't been explored or something like that?
Shit like
Yeah,
that.
we know more on the moon than they do the ocean.
And now, is that actually true?
So true, because the moon is a big chunk of cheese.
No, I heard that. We possibly haven't even gone to the moon
It's actually a hollowed out space station that is used for
Hollywood.
mind control.
by the reptilians.
Reptilian's home base.
Thanks for listening to the last episode.
So I'm thinking like maybe because don't they have like sonar and they've mapped out like all the ocean floors?
Oh, is that going to show up on the sonar?
The mermaids?
Where's the video evidence?
Is there proof?
Well, I think they have maps.
That doesn't show you shit.
It shows you
maps
rock,
every day.
rock formations.
Our very own Rob Stone, ladies and gentlemen.
Maps don't
It's our lawyer. It's our lawyer.
Okay. Well, so you're thinking sonar total bullshit?
I'm not saying it's bullshit. I'm just saying that just because you have a map of something, I have a map of the world on my wall. Do I know everything that's in the whole fucking world? No, I don't, because I haven't been to all those places.
So you could possibly be a flat earther.
He's got the whole
No, that's not what I
world.
said.
Okay. So you're positing that these mermaid legends are bullshit, but we haven't explored all the ocean.
We don't know Jack.
No, but I see what you're saying. Like, all right, you look at a map, it's not
So
going to
you
show
can-
you all
yeah.
people in the world. Like
You can map
Okay.
out the ocean, but just because you map it out doesn't mean you've explored all the depths of the ocean.
Okay, so possibly some type of Atlantis utopia where mermaids live in harmony
Which
could exist. Okay.
needs to be an
Do they have
episode that we have
gills?
here soon.
Because I'm not seeing any gills. I don't think these bitches are holding their breath that long.
Well,
They're probably living by the shore. We would have seen them by now.
What about hippos?
They got some fish lung in them.
Hippos ain't got gills.
yeah. What about the human in the womb? How do you fucking breathe in the womb?
Whoa. Not ready for that one. That's a whole other conspiracy episode.
Okay, now, there's also a lot of crazy shit going on in the ocean, like
Sure.
octopuses. You guys are you guys aware of like octopuses?
Octopi.
aware of them?
Yeah. Of how crazy they are?
I've seen the jar videos, yeah.
Dude, like you seen all these articles coming out about octopuses could be like extraterrestrial life forms?
Octopuses?
Octopi.
Octopuses.
They
It's
look
not
crazy.
octopi, dude. It's octopuses.
Okay.
Octopussy.
Octopuses. Now, they have literally their blood is blue.
Sure.
Did you know that?
Because they're hardcore Crips.
They have like instead of iron in their blood, they have copper. And it's like better for the cold environments they live in.
A lot of C words being thrown
So
around.
how do they know this? Who cut one open?
A lot of people, dude. People eat octopuses every day.
Delicious.
Also, their brains are in their arms.
Nothing I love more.
Did you know
I
this?
thought we were talking about mermaids still.
Now we've gone down a rabbit hole of octopi.
Okay, are you aware of how weird this is, dude? And there's also
He's
something
just
with like
saying
their
there's weird shit in the ocean.
yeah, with their chromosomes is like they
Oh,
have.
but we know everything about the ocean because we have a map.
Do you not know that octopuses are an animal that exists?
Tonight's episode is about octopus.
I'm just saying.
It's actually about how much of a dickhead my brother
Did
is.
you know that octopuses have 3 hearts?
Did not know that.
You did?
You know they had 3 hearts?
And their brains are in their arms and their blood is blue. That's some alien shit,
That's
right?
That's wild.
And
It's
they
an alien.
fucking can. Have you seen how well octopuses can blend in with their environments
Yes,
like chameleons?
that's
How much
Squirting
time
you
did
to
you
get
spend
away?
watching
Dude.
videos about octopus last night?
I did that today,
Just a lot
and
of puss.
now where I'm going with the octopus shit is just that there's some weird alien type shit in the ocean. Do we disagree?
There's a lot of weird stuff in the ocean. Fish are pretty weird. Dolphins are pretty fucking weird. Have you ever seen a dolphin?
Dolphins are pretty smart.
Tied to mermaids.
I'm not saying they're stupid. I'm just saying they're weird.
Hey, now there's weird shit down there.
Agreed.
I mean, you're saying there is weird shit.
I think there is.
Now, Demi Lovato, are we familiar?
Oh yeah.
So Demi Lovato on Seth Meyers' interview she did with Seth Meyers in 2014 claimed that she saw an extremely convincing documentary on mermaids and explained that they may be an alien species that lives in parts of the Indian Ocean that we've never explored.
Never
So
met.
that's where you're going with it. Okay. Demi Lovato.
That's
Yeah.
a start. That's
You
a
went
start.
down a deep rabbit hole.
Hey, okay, Atlantis, you know, the legends are true. Maybe.
You're calling me out for not believing everything that I see on a oceanographic map, but you're looking up Demi Lovato octopus videos.
Now, hey, it's no secret. We got to play both sides of this thing. I'm not going to be the skeptic sitting in my corner of closed-mindedness over there saying maps aren't real.
Well, it seems
we
like you're
haven't-
agreeing with me, buddy.
and maps aren't
Seems
real.
like you're agreeing with me.
I'm trying to
I'm
come,
not saying that. You're saying that.
I'm coming from all angles over here.
Devil's advocate.
All right?
Yeah, this guy just wants us to start yelling again.
No, I'm just, hey, now I'm getting pissed. And I'm just giving all the evidence, okay? Take it as you will. Take it with a grain of salt. Take that with
Take
a
the
grain,
grain
of
of salt?
salt. Take the whole grain of salt.
You can take that grain of salt.
Possible mermaids, alien species. What are we thinking here?
I don't think they're alien species, man. I think they're just a people.
Okay, you don't think possibly like a fucking like a Bigfoot type situation? You know how we talked Bigfoot's like a international or interdimensional species that
No,
avoids
no,
detection. Maybe mermaids could be like a fish version of Bigfoot.
Maybe Bigfoot hooked up with some mermaids.
Ooh, could have been.
Aquatic Bigfoot. Okay, now, all right. How about this? Probably most likely theory, maybe. Although I don't even know how this ties in. This is
one-
just something.
This one's
Oh, see, there you go.
Aquatic Ape Theory. You guys heard of this?
Just now.
Joe Rogan.
Hypothesis.
Joe Rogan again, for real? Did he just steal our idea?
No, he talks about this a lot because he has a lot of like scientists on and stuff.
Okay.
But
Hobby.
look up like Aquatic Ape Theory. There's a ton of videos.
Very interesting.
This basically says like we evolved from a branch of apes that basically were forced to hunt for their food and like wade in the waters, you know, eating shellfish, that sort of thing. We're kind of butted out of land. And there's a lot of fucking theories, ideas that support this, you know. At some point in the last 5 million years, humans became dependent on essential fatty acids and iodine, which are found in an abundance of sea resources. An efficient function of the human brain requires these nutrients. Also, our metabolism and oxygen consumption slows down upon entering the water. You know, a human becomes fully submerged in the water. This stuff just happens automatically. Human babies automatically hold their breath underwater.
And they can float good.
Yeah.
You ever thrown a baby in the water?
Yeah. You know, Nirvana did. Apes would drown. You know, if you threw a fucking baby ape in the
can't
water, they
swim.
would just drown. They can't fucking swim. You can't teach them how to swim, but babies will automatically do this. Now, some say this is left over from the womb. Like babies know this from being in the
natural,
womb.
yeah.
That to hold their breath because they get like oxygen through the umbilical cord. But this goes away within like 2 to 3 months of life. So I guess if you throw a baby that's older than 3 months in the water, it will drown.
Not recommended. Please do not try at home.
Yeah,
Disclaimer. Good
yeah.
for looking it up.
Now, also, you know, we're pretty buoyant the way that we float. Like apes and chimps, they'll fucking sink like a fucking lead balloon. Also,
And that's weird. I've really never thought of it. I've never
Yeah.
seen a monkey
Yeah,
swim. You would
yeah.
just think that they're just swimming up a
or
storm.
something you could teach. We'd send them into space.
Oh, you could
Why
fly a
not
plane.
send them in the depths?
Can't do the breaststroke good.
Now, also, you know, humans lack of body hair. We don't have as much body hair as other mammals.
Some of us.
Why is this? You know, also our fingers shrivel up. You know, that's for grip.
Little raisin hands.
Yeah.
Get out
Looking
the
like
pool.
grandma.
So, you know, possible aliens, possible
I can
living
see
in
the
Atlantis.
alien connection, but I think it's more the human. A little bit of this, a little bit of
Little
that.
bit of
Bang,
this, little
bang,
bit of
bada
that.
boom.
Maybe this would, like, we came from an aquatic ape, maybe a whole other sect split off and went into the water.
There's definitely a crew underwater hanging out.
Okay, you know.
Underwater squad, shout out.
And this is where we get like Atlantis, Lemuria,
Yeah,
types of legends like that.
And all the underwater pyramids, who made those? The mermaids.
The fucking Gungans, maybe. There's
Boss
like a
Nass.
crew of Gungans living underwater.
Squad up.
Yeah, you know, honestly, I
I think
think
it'd be fun. It'd be a fun thing. I would be a mermaid.
I honestly also think a mermaid would look similar to like a Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah. It's
You
not
know?
going to be all
It's not gonna be
humanly-
some fucking
Yeah, it's going to have some weird
hot
features.
chick with big old titties.
No, it's going to be slimy. It's going
It's gonna be weird. It's gonna look fucking like a
It's
fish.
Be pale. It's going to be very
Yeah.
green slimely.
Teabag, what do we got for TLDL? Teabag's famous Too Lazy Didn't Listen, Too Lazy Didn't Read. What do we got? Your summary, your conclusion. What are we thinking?
Actually, I would like to ask our age-old question first.
So where are we going with the age-old question? Now, the age-old question, do we want to like preface it with where it came from?
Yeah, go ahead.
The people need to know.
So essentially, the age-old question: sailors, they're out on the fucking sea, bunch of dudes, cramped up on a ship. Now, you know, this also comes from the Spike TV show Mansers.
Great show.
Basically, like sailors, you know, dugongs and fucking manatees have genitals similar to the human female.
This is good. This is good.
So they even like they imply that sailors would basically fucking bang dugongs and manatees when they got all fucking horny.
Sure, dude. You're out on a boat in the middle of nowhere for a long time.
So the age-old question, here we go, hit him.
Rob Stone, you're on the clock here. Would you have sex with a manatee?
That's going to be a no for me, dog.
Come on, dog. You're out on the sea. You're lonely. Jill is boring after a little bit.
What are you going with?
Come on,
You're
man.
going with Jed's butthole as your shipmate, or are you going with a manatee?
Come on.
Neither one, dude.
Would you rather?
Would
Is that
you
an
rather?
option? Where
One
did
or
this
the other.
option come through?
You're with a
Yeah, what the fuck?
You're with a ship full of seamen.
You're on the clock
Are you
here.
gonna resort to another seaman like prison, or are you gonna doink a manatee?
Where's your
Neither
semen going?
one, dude.
You gotta pick one.
No, dude.
You gotta pick one.
It's in your contract.
It's going to be a murder-suicide.
With the manatee?
Both parties were harmed.
So, you know, this is like. Also, I was looking up on this forum. This is off of
The age-old question is, would you fuck a manatee?
Yes, that's the age-old
That's how
sailor
mermaids-
question.
That's how it all started.
Yeah, look up Alfred Thayer Mahan on Sea Power. He talks a lot about fucking manatees. Now, what I'm thinking is where, like, do you think these sailors jumped into the shallows to do it? Did they haul the fucking manatee on board and, like, you pass it around like a fleshlight?
Oh, man. Oh.
Whoa.
You know?
That's
Debbie does Dallas.
Like, how did they do that? Now, actually, I guess so. Before we get to Teabags TLDL, do we want to get? So this kind of goes along the same lines. This is from WorldDailyReport.com.
Not to be confused with World Star.
So apparently in Florida, a 400-pound woman survived a sexual assault by a herd of manatees.
He looks like a manatee.
I think that's where they were going with
They were
this.
confused.
She was a tourist on vacation, swimming around. Apparently, a herd of manatees just mistook.
Just was ready for it.
Said, "Hey, this lady's one of us." So they start
Let's
fucking
get it on.
boom. It's just fucking manatee on manatee. Just fucking trying to gang rape this lady. She says it all happened in a flash. All I remember was the horrifying sight of the manatees trying to grab me and force me into submission. Apparently, a man on a jet ski caught their attention, scared him away. The Coast Guard rescues her.
I wonder how common this is.
Well, they said apparently, I guess she was like on her period. Oh, and the other manatees sensed that and were like, "Hey, manatee over here." Probably didn't help that she was also 400 pounds. But
That, I bet you she's thin now. That probably changed her life. Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, I'm gonna look her up.
Now this guy says, this one guy from the University of South Florida, this is a biologist guy, says, I would definitely suggest that women not go swimming during their menstrual cycle in area where manatee mating occurs.
Don't do it, dude.
Apparently she's lucky to be alive. This 17-year-old lifeguard who was there he
joined in.
Whoa.
Well, no, come on. Lifeguards, they put their life on the line for saving people.
Aren't you a lifeguard, Rob?
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Lifeguard code, dude.
What would you know about that?
Exactly. Now, he said there were so many manatees around her. I think I counted at least 10 of them. They were all fighting against each other to get her on her back and hump her. It was like a big manatee gangbang. She's definitely lucky to be alive. He says he was visibly distraught by the whole affair. This is like a little reverse. The manatee said, "Hey, we're tired of these sailors fucking us. We're going to fucking dish it out on you guys.
Get one of theirs.
Yeah, we're going to get yours, Black Bart." So
I don't think that's what he was talking about.
So mermaids, what do we got for Teabags TLDL? Sum it up. What do we got for us?
Crazy women by the ocean. It's just like my high school years. And I think Rob is being insincere with us when he answered our age-old question.
Okay, so that's what you took from the whole episode.
Yes, sir.
Mermaids real, yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so mermaids real. Rob report, do we want to get to this?
Yeah, play me in.
Okay.
And now, Loyal Legion, the Rob report.
So, guys, I want to share with you some legal history. And maybe you guys did or did not cover this in your research. But to kick it off, I pulled up a little tidbit way back in the day. British Empire days, we're talking. There was actually a mermaid law that said that any mermaid found out of the water, even partially, on the shores of Great Britain were now property of the king.
Sure.
Did you guys know about that?
Good to be the king. I've never heard of that.
And then it was said after that when the mermaids found out about this law, they made their own law for people of the land that they would no longer show themselves to the men of the sea or of the land. That's why we maybe haven't seen them in so long, for those of you that actually believe this shit.
That's kind of petty. Just show yourself.
So the Rob report is that the king could keep the mermaid. Maritime law?
There are no rules.
Maritime law.
Maritime law states.
I am the captain.
I was just telling you what I knew, man.
Okay.
I'm not a fucking encyclopedia over here.
There you have it. I mean, mermaids, as we gather, most of this is bullshit. A bunch of sailors, fucking manatees. That's what we got.
Yeah.
Sailors love to bang sea cows. And that's where mermaids come from. You know, Christopher Columbus, you don't think he was out there banging fucking manatees?
Gotta
Right?
lead by example, dude.
This dude
He's
fucked
the
everything that
captain.
moved. So, mermaids, let us know what you guys think. Right at the end on this episode, if you want further reading on this, a lot of the research from this episode came from Great American Conspiracies, A Field Guide to Demons, Vampires, Fallen Angels, and Other Subversive Spirits by Carol K. Mack and Dinah Mack. And, of course, the internet. Numerous forums and message boards. Let us know what you guys think about fucking mermaids. Are they real? Are they not?
Would you?
Yeah. Bestiality.
He said, "Let us know about what you know about fucking mermaids."
Bestiality. Is it really that bad?
I'm getting taken off the air.
Just fucking hit us up with anything you got on the subject. I mean, I feel like the mermaids are one of the bigger cryptids out there, but they're kind of, as we said, they've been morphed into this, like, I'm going to decorate my bathroom with mermaids and
Right.
fucking seahorses and fairies, that type of shit, but they're fucking brutal.
You ever seen Starbucks logo?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hell hath no fury like a woman
There's
without
a lot
Starbucks.
of creepy stuff on there.
Starbucks logo, mermaid, right? Star.
Whoa.
Star, universe, bucks, money. Money runs the universe.
Yep.
Mermaids run the universe.
As does the Illuminati.
And on that, I mean, we are out of here. I want to thank our fucking guest for sitting in on this one, Mr.
Yes,
Jed
sir.
Groom. Wish him a happy birthday.
Thanks, guys. It's been real fun.
As always, feel free to slide in those DMs on the gram, Podcast from Outer Space, or if you want to send us an old-fashioned email, podcastfromouterspace@gmail.com. And as always, thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, mermaids are real.
First off, no manatees were fucked in the making of this podcast. And to the rest of you, so long and thanks for all the fish.